Ooh, ooh, ooh. Ladies, gentlemen, gamers, and fellow Genshin Impact and Nodcry anticipators, welcome back. We are back once again to start the drip marketing coverage for the first. I think it's the first. I thought Flynn's was coming out first, but I might be wrong. I honestly forgot a lot of the stuff that happened in the special program. But what I'm assuming to be the first, I was about to say Netlin, Nodcry character coming to the game. We're just gonna ignore Inefa, by the way. Anyway, we're here to talk about Genshin, Nodcry, Lauma, of course, and thankfully I'm not too late. It's 12:44, so it's a little later, but we're still within the hour, so we're still good. Either way, Lauma's coming out. So, surprise, surprise to almost absolutely no one, Lauma is continuing the trend of lunar reactions. Now, here's where I was actually surprised. Even though Lama's continuing the trend of lunar reactions, she's not doing what Flynn's is doing, which is lunar charge. I think, okay, there's no way they do it with everything, right? Because this is where they like to introduce this new bullshit in almost every region, and then they somehow switch it up sometimes. And I'm really using Fontaine as the basis for this. When Fontaine first came out, we had Numa and Osea aligned damage types. And for those of you who don't know what the fuck that is, even if you've played Genshin, I wouldn't blame you. Because they excuse me. Because they've really done almost nothing with it. It affected some of the mecha enemies depending on which one it would take, but in the overall grand scheme of things, no one cared about it. It did not matter and everyone ignored it. Now, I don't think that's what's going to happen with the lunar reactions. Now, granted, I don't think every element is going to get a lunar reaction, but Lauma is introducing the second element now, which is Dendro. So, there's a lot we can talk about just with Natlin alone, but I feel like I've already said a lot of opinions about that in the special program, although that's very long. So I'll try and TLDR here. Basically, and this is just the general trend when relating to characters because in terms of the other stuff they did, they let me down a lot. But at least we're getting some good stuff, like the farming shit and seeing the artifact substat before you level it. But that's unrelated to Llama. According to Llama, and just according to Nodcry in general, I think we're gonna get some lunar stuff, right? Lunar charged, lunar bloom, lunar whatever the fuck else. But not everything is going to be lunar. I really hope. Now, this is where it's getting a little weird, but I'm also a little happy because Lauma is basically, for all intents and purposes, the same as Anefa, just for Dendro. So my fear was that by missing Anefa, which spoiler alert I did, I would miss out on a lot of the power that's going to come from lunar reactions. Because I thought they were really going to double down, at least in the beginning, on lunar charged, which is just electro charged on roids. To be in the future, not now at least. Now it's a side grade. But this is where it seems like they're kind of gonna have each element be its own niche thing. So I don't know how far they're going to go into the element. Like, I don't know how much more Electro we can get that works with Lunar Charge. It seems like we're gonna get Lunar for its element, and then each element is going to get its own little pocket thing, introducing Lauma. So Lauma, like I said before, is basically just an Effa, because an Effa buffs Lunar Charged, Lauma buffs Lunar Bloom. So just because you missed an Effa, obviously, if you get Flinch or if you want Flinch, it's going to be a little bit, it's not going to be as good. But this is where if you're completely skipping him, which sadly I might have to, it's completely fine. Excuse me, I'm still a little sick. Now, my main fear is for Columbina. The big hitters of Nodcry that they've teased are Alice, Barca, and Columbina. Everyone else, I really don't care too much about. If I miss them, I miss them. And I say that now before really, seeing or understanding them. But I'll say this. If Columbina takes a lunar reaction, which more and more she probably will, because, she's the whole lunar goddess, like in the story, at least from what they showed. So more and more she probably will just thematically. But the other hard part is with Columbina, and I'm doing this all out of order. I haven't even done the criteria yet, but it's gonna relate. Columbina is Hydro, I think. But because she's Hydro, so far she works not only with Lauma, but she works also with Anefa. So We gotta see if she's gonna be Lunar reaction. She probably will be, and I'm probably gonna cry. I don't know how I feel about this new Lunar stuff yet. But Lauma is the first character, and obviously, as we can see in the bottom right here, Lauma destroys the Dendro meta. So this is where the Dendro meta, I think, has been really, really stale. The only really update we got to Dendro last I remember was Emily, and Emily was really for burning. So I guess it's Dendro, but not really hardcore Dendro. Aside from that, we have Nilu, we have Alhaitham. The biggest one is obviously Nahihi, aka Nahida. But I think Llama is finally going to displace her, obviously, because, you know, how long ago was Sumeru? But basically, to go over the criteria here, right? And to say my opinions on Llama. Number one criteria, meta and gameplay. Her gameplay looks interesting, right? It seems like you almost like stack stuff up and then do a bomba. But meta-wise, I'm sure she's going to be great. She's probably going to be top tier because she's introducing a whole new reaction, which she's also buffing herself, which is crazy. I think, honestly, she will be better than Nanefa, but we'll see. She's more in line with the lore, too. Like, the whole thematic of, like, the moon shit. Because she's basically a goat priest girl, or, like, a deer girl. But anyway, we have one of those in League. But anyway, look-wise, I think she's pretty hot. I mean, obviously, she's very well endowed. But I think her stuff is whatever. She's not really like a DPS, even though she's going to buff your comp and, you know, enable DPS. I don't know if she herself is an on-fielding DPS. She's kind of just like an activator, if that makes sense. But look-wise, I think she's pretty cool. I'm not in love with her, even though, you know, in another game, I really like a deer girl in League of Legends. But Llama is okay. Obviously, she's voluptuous, but, you know, if you've been alive as long as I have, when you've entered Unk status, you've seen Big Titty a lot. So the beer, you know, the dear Big Titty girl, I was about to say beer, she's not too new, she's whatever. Aside from that, though, in terms of lore, we really can't say much. In general, Nodcry's lore looks like it's going to be pretty good. It really seems like they're having like an internal war with the Fatui, with like all the religions there. And the Fatui are infighting too, kind of with Columbina. Because that's the whole reason I think they're pushing right there. Because Columbina's not with them anymore. Which is funny because the Saritsa isn't forcing any of the Fatui to do their shit. They're choosing to do it. So it seems like now they're kind of forcing her, which is not what the original agreement was. But aside from that, we really have competition, and it's kind of what I said before. If you have Flynn's, or sorry, if you want Flynn's and you have an Effa, there you go. If you're a whale, it doesn't matter. But if you don't have them and you like Dendro, Llama is on the table, and she could technically revitalize people like Nahida. Not that Nahida needs much revitalization, but it definitely brings Dendro back up to the current, I guess, showcasing. But either way, I'm not too crazy about either Flynn's or Llama. It's kind of sad because I think I kind of like Flynn's more. I don't like the reactions they do so far. Electro Charged, I really don't give a shit. And then Lunar Charged, or sorry, that's the same thing. Lunar Charged, I don't give a shit. Same with Electro Charged, honestly. And then Lunar Bloom, I could really care less. I was never really one for Bloom teams necessarily. So this is where I'm not too in love with either character, but, you know, I'll give it to Hoyo to try and convince me otherwise. But there's a lot that is, I don't want to say riding on this, but, you know, it's a new region. They want to start off strong. And the last time I did one of these, which was basically for Natlin, I saw the beginning characters, and I thought they were fucking clowns and stupid. Kanich, Mualani, we're not counting Kachina because she's a 4-star. But when I saw Kanich and Mualani, I was like, these characters look so stupid and dumb. Now, it worked out that I didn't like either of them, but I definitely warmed up to them. I think their gameplay's good. I think their kits are decent too. I mean, obviously, how could they not be? And I think Lauma is honestly starting off at a better foot. So let's take a look because we're almost at 10 minutes for a 2-minute reaction. Or sorry, a 2-minute video. So let's take a look here. Let's take a look-see.
Come night or day, may the
Whoa.
goddess keep you.
Whoa. Okay, damn, she's pretty. I haven't seen her too well. Yo, she's kind of cute.
Is there truly a goddess on the moon?
Columbina! Columbina!
It's possible. Everyone
Hey,
says there
yo!
is.
Those are all the mouths of the players.
Come night or day.
Oh my god, I thought they were gonna show feet. So I know in her lore she's like a friend of. Yo, look at her
I have
fucking
been to
chest!
many places.
I was gonna say in the lore she's like a friend of the animals. She's very peaceful.
I have yet to witness a miracle.
Oh shit, who's that behind her?
There are those
Oh god, ew! That was so creepy!
Those who continue to suffer.
They're introducing deer people now. I saw that girl with the
Is
antlers.
there any way to make it end?
Okay, so she's very, very peaceful. Alright.
Come night or day,
Oh,
may the moon goddess keep you.
okay.
Grandma,
Oh,
it's dark.
oh no.
Fear not, my
But they're literally
child.
with the lunar
Moonlight
demigod
shines
here.
upon
The
us.
deer
The moon
demigod.
goddess will keep us safe.
Who's that, Columbina, or is that Lauma? Oh, is she gonna turn into the deer now? Bruh, what the fuck? Yo, this is some real furry shit.
By her side.
Whoa. I guess this is like their priest. Oh, what the? She almost looks like Raiden.
To guide us.
She actually legit almost looks like Ball. That was it? Okay. Interesting. So they're going for more of like a serious, I guess, ceremonial type vibe. I'm gonna be honest, like, looking at it on its own, I did not get hyped up for this at all. Obviously, it introduced the character and it showed off her assets very well. But, for a teaser, this was kind of ass. And it's sad because it wasn't funny, it wasn't really too interesting. Maybe it's interesting for the lore buffs, not for me. But it was really just boring. Like, okay, we know there's a moon goddess. We know, I guess she's like the priest of it. So again, there's some lore, I guess, nuggets you can get. But overall, like, nothing happened in this shit. It's just her praying and her trying to just wish for world peace, which is good. You know, I'm not saying it's not good. But usually peace is boring. And that sounds kind of fucked up to say, but it's true. But either way, the trailer was pretty whatever. I mean, the character's cool and all. I low-key feel like they're trying to push the furry agenda. When you look at her like this, it's like, damn, are people gonna get attracted to this? The answer is obviously yes. But yeah, I mean, we have like all the moon people praying with her. She's one of the sects of I guess one of the factions in Nodcry. The lore is really kind of whatever right now. I'm more interested in the overarching lore with the Fatui. I don't really care about their lore unless you're, a moon buff. And this is where sadly I love the theme of Nodcry so far, I'll say. Because there's a lot of themes going on. There's some places that look futuristic, there's some places that look junk filled. The moon stuff and the astral stuff I actually really like. I just think right now Lauma is kind of weak in terms of like the thematic. Now, she fits the thematic well. I just think it's boring the way they're doing with her. She's a peaceful moon deer. That's all it is. And again, it's not the worst thing in the world, but I feel like it's just really boring. I don't know. Either way though, I'm sure hopefully more stuff in the future that's going to come out for her is going to be better, but I'm sure she's going to be top of the meta. So, we'll see how I feel once the test run comes out, but right now this really did not convince me at all. It's really well for her. Low key, I want to just save till Columbina. Now, the sucky part is if Columbina needs them, similar to how Mavica needed all the Natlan characters, I'm going to kick myself in the ass. But we'll see. Anything to get me off the game, but sadly, I'm not going to get off the game. I'm just going to suffer. But so far, Lauma's drip marketing coverage is pretty underwhelming, although she's probably going to be a great character. So, this trailer was whatever, though. Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. Tell me if you disagree with me, if you're a Lauma glazer, if you're a deer lover, if you're a furry. And if you want to see more of me, watch me at Twitch TV/Tecnics channel.